So how was your week?
I actually go blank when you ask me that.
I love it.
I have a whole week to sit here and think of some kind of comeback or to think of something, and I know it's happening, and my mind shuts down. It was okay. How long until our 3 fans get tired of that?
No, they're going to keep listening forever in the hopes that one day you will fucking answer
One
me.
day I will be like, "This, you know what? This awesome thing happened."
Yeah, that's what everybody's hanging on to. Lammas.
Lammas.
Lammas bread.
Lammas bread.
It's Lammas Day.
Eve.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it just sounds better. It is. It's Eve. It's not actually. We're excited about it. It's tomorrow.
We're very excited about it.
But today, we're going to be talking about tomorrow.
Which this will be released on tomorrow, which will be, by the time you're hearing it, will be today.
We're leaving that, and you can't take that out, because that was the most convoluted way to explain what we're doing. Even I'm confused.
Okay. Let's scrap.
No, that stays. If you take that out, I'm going to punch you in the neck.
Okay. I might.
I've done it before. I'll do it again. So we're already in the merry attitude, if you cannot tell.
Yes, we've begun celebrations early.
It's going to be a good day. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about tomorrow, as Charlie likes to say in the very confusing way that she does.
But you're hearing it today, so it's today. Happy Lughnasadh!
So we're going to be touching on a lot of topics, the holiday itself, or the Sabbat. I guess, yeah, if you're trying, to be a good witch, as I'm really trying to do. And so we're gonna, talk about why we do it, what you can do on this day. I'm going to be talking about a solo ritual, and Charlie, I think you're going to talk about what you like to do on this day.
Yes, ma'am. And I think it's also important to point out that this is our first real Sabbat special. And we're going to approach it with the excitement and the merriment that it deserves.
I'm feeling good.
And the more I looked into it, the more I think it might be one of my favorites.
I love it. I love everything about it.
It's so nice.
It is so nice. And the celebration for it is really, really fun. And it's just a fun time. And it was, for our ancestors too. It's a big celebratory day. And I'm excited to get into all of that. So,
and that's a good point about our ancestors is the whole theme of the day, which we'll get into. But the reoccurring theme is like gratitude.
Yes.
Yeah. And I just had like a little sit down think to myself about like how much work.
Yes.
How much work these people had to do.
Well, yeah.
And so this day rolls around. Of course, it's a fucking party.
Yeah.
And then it got me down this rabbit trail of thinking about how like I will bitch about having to go put on some laundry.
That's exactly. I wrote a big section in here about that, and it really does. Because we are not here simply because of luck. We're here because our ancestors worked their asses off and were very intelligent in what they had to do to survive.
And the people and the ones who weren't, they're not here today.
They didn't make
because they didn't make it.
So, I mean, really, these were tough, intelligent, hardworking people. And it's a good day to reflect on your internal metal, what you came from. And I think it's a very empowering day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here, let's break it down.
Sure. We're going to be talking about a lot, and I feel like we're going to break our usual where we go one and then the other.
Yeah, we're going to be doing some dialogue.
We're going to be doing some dialogue. We're going to go back and forth a couple of times. Bantering. That's what people love about us, Macy, is our chemistry.
I'm just going to fucking argue with you today.
Yeah.
Everything you say.
Isn't that a little bit what bantering means?
Banter, to me, is snarky conversation.
It's like playful fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we do, but...
I don't know. I do it to you a lot. I'll listen to myself on this episode. I'm like, people are going to think I'm an absolute dick.
Well, I'm just manipulative because I cut back how harsh I usually am in everyday conversation. Just so I know people are going to hear you and be like, Macy's mean.
Oh, I knew it.
No, I'm a giant asshole. Also, who was it that pointed out? Macy's brother Rustin called, and it was hilarious because he was like, I listen to all of your podcasts.
Oh, he did. That made me so happy.
But he also pointed out that we dropped the C-bomb like 3 times in the last episode.
Yeah, I did that, and then you did that.
He's like, y'all started off kind of clean,
trying.
And he's like, and now around episode 7 or whatever, he's like, it's just a cuss fest. I'm going to kind of get into the smaller, like, nuances, I guess, of the day. Like, the foods associated and the colors we can use to, like, decorate our altars with. And something that was very important to me, very, like, at the beginning, was I would change my altar out with every Sabbat. I would do that so I could learn about it. Like,
that's cool.
When, like, Yule started, I would have all my Yule colors and my Yule decorations, and in that slice of the wheel of the year, I would learn all about Yule.
That's very cool. This is way my first year, because while I've been doing a lot of energy work and stuff like that for a while, and, more earth type stuff, I haven't really gotten into the holidays, to be completely honest. This is my first real deep dive into this, for an actual day, and, a ritual that I'm planning and I'm going to be ready for. And that's why I'm nervous for this one, because this is kind of my first go around at this. And so what you're hearing is an absolute amateur trying to explain my understanding of this day. So.
That's the tagline of our entire podcast.
Which is good.
What you're about to hear is an amateur.
In its most pure form, yes. And so I'll be going into that, a little bit of why we do it, the history of it, who's being celebrated.
Which I'm glad you're covering.
Yeah.
Because that's something that, as soon as I found out that you were going to be covering more of the, the god-goddess aspect of it, I kind of tuned that part out, because I had so much other stuff to research.
Yeah.
But every time I saw it, it just looked so interesting.
It's very neat. Yeah, and I'm not going to lie, some of it's a little confusing to me. So I hope that it's completely right, but I tried my best. But anyway, the ritual part, I'm very excited about, and I got it from a book that I had that I'm going to talk about, but it's one that almost anybody can do, and you can modify, even if you're in an apartment. You can find a way to do this. The way I see it, a lot of people who are, and us included, you're alone for a lot of the first time you're getting into this, and if you had a coven, you wouldn't need me to tell you how to do this, and so it's kind of a good way to get into it. So this is for everybody who's practicing alone today. So I'm excited to talk about that. And it's a good, cheap, easy ritual.
That's the thing. You say you're nervous about it and you hope that you get it all right and stuff like that. There are so many different areas of the world and areas of history that have put this time in. What's so fascinating about all of this is it's also similar to one another.
Yes.
But then each localized area or each period in time, they will kind of adapt it to their beliefs at the time.
And so that's what I hope I got. I hope that I got everything.
The main one I saw was Lu. I mean,
Celtic
obviously,
sun god.
The other name for Lammas, and the one that I prefer, Lammas. I know I'm not saying it right. Lammas bread. The name that I prefer is Lughnasadh. Lughnasadh. Which I'm probably going to catch shit for that too. But that's the way that I have seen it pronounced. I prefer that one because Lammas, it's the more Christianized version.
It is the more Christianized version.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's a lot of what Macy's going to be covering. I'm going to be covering some of the stuff like the colors you can use to decorate your home during this time and your table. I really like to coordinate my makeup with those.
You do, I remember I was before we even started this podcast. I marked you, and you were all done up for Beltane.
Yeah, I had some like red ass.
You were very, very like flashy for which is that fits for that day.
Yeah,
so,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of sad we weren't doing the podcast.
I am so ready for Beltane.
Next year it's gonna rock.
I am so ready. Like that is the day I'm most ready for.
I kept thinking Macy like the entire time I'm reading it. I'm like, this is Macy. This is Macy. This is.
It's
Macy.
a good day for me, and it's like springtime. Mm-hmm. It falls like in the like.
It's summer. It's
summer's coming. It's warming up.
It's warming up. It's not so much like the height of summer, like this one. And
winter's dead.
It's winter is dead, and we are celebrating the fact that our shit is growing.
Yeah.
We're getting food on the table. People are fucking right and left.
Yeah, no kidding.
And it's just a big celebration of that and life.
I just love it. I
love dancing and fire. It's how I remember explaining it to somebody. It was when you think of a pagan ritual. And you're thinking of the naked people dancing around a fire and everybody's whooping and hollering. That's the one you're thinking of.
I love it. It's my day.
It just again, you get to be naked.
I get to be naked.
Macy's
and
favorite.
By fire.
Your two favorite colors.
Naked and warm.
Warm and naked.
Oh, goodness. Okay, are you going to make some bread?
Yes, I also have a really nice, super simple, amateur level bread recipe. If you've never made bread before, if you're not much of a baker or cook.
Well, bread is, bread is kind of difficult too. It's not, you got to get a lot of things right with bread. You got to get the rise right. You got to get everything right to me. And so, it's just you don't got to get everything right. You can be, but it's just, bread to me is intimidating because I've had bread fall. Or I've had it not come out right, so it's good to have an easy one.
The recipe that I have is actually from Artisan Breads with Steve, and he shows people how to make bread maker style bread loaves without a bread maker.
Cool.
And it really changed the way that I make bread, and I remember I got on a huge kick. I was making bread all the time after I learned how to do this. I also have some other foods to talk about that not only correlate with today, but I'm going to incorporate into my own little personal celebration, which I've written out and I will share with you. So I'm excited.
I am excited.
I'm so ready.
I'm glad. Yeah, this is our first, we're celebrating this day traditionally together for the first time.
And I've taken elements of the more traditional ritual, kind of broken them down into bite-sized pieces.
Cool.
I'm kind of making a celebration a little bit more personal to me. In addition to the ritual aspect of it,
right?
I'm kind of going to try to make the whole day about things I can do or things in particular I can eat, because this day is a bread food holiday.
It is feasting.
It is a feast holiday. And I feel like a lot of Sabbats, you read about them and they're like, this is a feast holiday. Sure, this is the feast holiday. You can look at this day like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, which it is.
It's really essentially Thanksgiving.
It has that feel to it for sure. Yeah.
Well, it's almost Thanksgiving to a T, because A, you're feasting.
Yeah.
B, it's about being with family
and harvest,
and then C, it's about being thankful.
Yeah.
And not everywhere in the world has Thanksgiving, but everyone can have Lughnasadh. Is my point. All right, so Macy, tell us about Lughnasadh.
Here's what we're gonna do. Let me get my big old book here. It's got all my notes in it, because I took notes again.
Wait, do y'all hear that?
I took notes. Well,
it's the sound of hell freezing over.
This one, I didn't have a choice, because otherwise I would have just been like, so there's this corn, and which isn't even right, and it's just a mess. So here we go.
So there's bread, and
there's this guy named Lou, and heck of a guy. The festival Sabbat of Lammas, also August Eve, so it represents the union of God and Goddess, sun and, the sun and the earth, for they work together and produce the first grain of the harvest. And so, a lot of things had to come into play for this point, to get reached. So it's also the festival of Lou, which I really didn't know much about until I started looking into this, really much at all. So it's been kind of interesting to learn about him. But he's the Celtic Sun King, and, he's God of light. Okay. And so, August is his time, which I like it too, because I think of August in Texas, which is just a sun baking, just almost hell, but I love it, but it is, I just think of the sun in August.
It's very much represented in the colors that are the colors that you use to represent this holiday. Just feels like the landscape. Everything feels like that sepia tone. Sepia tone, and it's just kind of almost dulled down.
It's because everything's dying of thirst.
It's so hot, and everything's very dry, and getting ready to be harvested.
Yeah, it's about
the water time is gone, so it's time to pick it out of the earth.
And the name Lammas is it's derived from loaf mass. So it kind of fits in. It's the bread. So there's a big day of bread. Big deal. So it's important to note, though, that there's an undertone to this holiday, to this day of celebration. And it's that despite all the merriment and the markets and the feasts and weddings and the harvests and the big deal, underneath it is the truth that Lou, this sun, is weakening and the dark half of the year is coming. But so there's a lot to do still. There's a lot to get ready for, and, to make sure that next year happens. So that's really something to be thought about, is, yes, this is a big day. We did good. The harvest is here. It's also knowing that winter is coming, and
it's not over.
It's not over,
which is, with the exception of a couple of months during the dark half of the year, it was never really over for our ancestors. You know what I mean?
It was a constant battle,
hustle all the time. Even in the winter, there was a certain amount of strength in just surviving,
hoping that you kept enough stores for the year, and you have enough wood, hoping you could stay warm, hoping you have. I mean, it really. It makes you, this is a big day of appreciating
absolutely
how good we've got it, at least in, where we, you and I live in a very modern society, and we don't have to want for much.
We can go to the store and pick up some shit that's out of season. Yeah. And they didn't have that right now. No. I mean, even the stuff they could go to their markets and get was probably the shit their neighbor had to make, and you had to wait for 4 years to get it.
One bad crop is life or death. Yeah. And I mean, it's like, that is a level of pressure that we simply do not understand.
It makes me anxious when I think about it.
It makes me feel proud. And that might seem
weird. No, it's not. That's a really good way to think of it.
It makes me feel proud in the sense that, maybe while I am soft in today's standards, my ancestors were fucking hard. Yeah. And they were able to do this and survive and make the most out of the earth and really make it here, And it's like, it just makes me feel proud because you think about how tough they had to be.
And anybody listening, that's the case. Yeah. So anybody whose ears this is reaching right now, yours were too. Like, you have a whole line of badasses behind you. And it's insane to me. I really like the idea of thinking of it as more a pride thing. And that's why this day is so big. It's being thankful that you are going to be able to survive at least through the winter. You know what I mean? It's a time to sit back and be like, look at all this shit that grew. All the things I can make of it. I'm going to take this home, and, the women of my house, they're going to make the bread whatever.
Well, I mean, pretty much.
I mean, that's how it was.
On this day, the farmer, he would harvest the grain, and by the eve, the wife will have made the first bread, the first loaf. Yeah. So it's a big deal.
Had to be glorious. Think about it. Can you imagine? You haven't had bread, because bread doesn't keep. It's not going to last.
Well, I mean, you keep the dry grain and then make the bread from it. But if you've run out, I mean, you've had through the winter,
once you've run out of that, it's gone. So at this point, you probably have not had some good hot bread.
Fresh grain.
Good fresh grain.
First harvest,
it hasn't been sitting at the bottom of the cellar the whole year.
Getting dry. Yeah.
And then you eat it around in bulg time, when the times are getting hard. Yeah. And you're like, this is almost over. Yeah. So that had to be so great. Just tables of bread and corn and this just cornucopia of oh my god, it makes me happy.
It does. It's beautiful to think about.
I love it.
And so the goddess here is the grain mother. So that's really that's how she's portrayed as a lot. Yeah, the grain mother. And I love that. I think that's really, really beautiful. And with this harvest comes obviously food for now, but the seed for the next harvest. So it's very important, and so and a lot of timing goes into that. And, with that new seed comes the new responsibility of, okay, next year you have to do this right again, And so it's just, there's a neat legacy to it.
And you have to protect and watch that seed all the way through center. Holy God. All the way through winter.
And here, so this is a holiday of sacrifice. So, the sun god actually, he fully starts, he bursts onto the scene for Litha. That's the longest day of the year. Well, that's his peak, but as it goes, that's the longest day, so that only means that the days get shorter. And the reason for that is he's been sacrificing his own energy into the grain. And so on the harvest, or this first harvest, he is actually sacrificed. So Lu, the sun god, the sun king, he is sacrificed here for the harvest. Yeah, and again, later is reborn, because it's their deal with him being the goddess's lover, son, and that really just kind of goes in a circle.
Yeah, and you've got your mother, maiden crone.
Yes.
And all of that is cyclical. Every year you go through this cycle, and it's just, it's almost got a sad element to it. But then you think this has to happen for the other stuff to come.
It does. And I think it's a great way to think about it. And it's a fun way, because a lot of the time, especially I don't know, stages of the goddess where she is almost, I feel like, influences my own personality.
Yeah.
Throughout the year.
Oh, yeah.
And you can kind of reflect on it and be like, I've been kind of doing this or that, and it's things that you can notice. It's very interesting.
Especially when she stirs from the earth on, I believe, Inbolg maybe, or, oh God, I don't have them down pat. I'm an amateur. When she's stirring from the earth, that's when I do feel like I'm kind of waking. And as much as I love winter and as much as I love the dark part of the year, I don't care how much you love that. When the warmth and the sun starts coming back around, as sad as you may feel about
something in you,
there's still something in you that's like, okay, it's time for work now.
Yeah.
It's time for work.
I love it.
I'll stop interrupting.
And so this is the first of 3 harvests. The second is it's the autumn equinox. And then the third is Samhain. Mm-hmm. So, and that's the harvest of the grain, that is the harvest of nuts and berries. I'm excited for Samhain too. That'll be
absolute favorite.
Yeah.
I without even having experienced all of them, that's my favorite.
It's going to be a neat one. I'm
not just excited. Because Halloween is my shit, but it's my favorite.
So as we've said, like the bread would be harvested and the first grain would be made into the first bread that night. So that's kind of, you go through the whole process in that day and you have your first loaf of bread, which I know it's incredible. And like, just taste, that is the taste of hard work. Yeah. That's what hard work tastes like. And I think that's just really, really, really great. Okay, I wrote a lot of notes, and so I have to make sure I got it all in order.
You go. You sound
okay, good. All right, so I wanted to talk about a solitary ritual for this, because I feel like if you belong to a group or a coven or people that know about this and know what they're doing, then
you're not listening to us.
That pretty much. Well, and like you have a bit of guidance here, but I wanted to do a ritual for people who don't, and you don't got to go buy a bunch of complicated stuff. It's something that anybody can do. Either if you have a balcony on an apartment, you can do this, and that was really what I was going for. So this is a very simple ritual that you can do alone. For this, and I got it from a really, really great book. It's called A Book of Pagan Rituals.
Very simple, straight to the point name.
Yeah,
A Book of Pagan Rituals.
It's a book of pagan rituals.
Don't leave it out when your family comes over.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And edited by Herman Slater. So it's really it's a neat read. It's got a bunch of very traditional style celebrations for things and rituals and whatnot. So I pulled one out of here. I altered it in a few simple ways, just to kind of say, because that book can get a little complicated in things like, you gotta have this and that, and, sometimes you can really dumb that down. So I did it for the average Joe witch.
The AJW.
The AJW. So there's a lot that goes into a ritual like this, and there's a lot of time needing to be spent to get your mind in the right spot. I think that's very important. Mm-hmm. I'm really big into meditation, and getting into that element. So one of the first things is pick out your outfit. And I know that sounds a little girly, but it's important. A lot of what you wear sets your intention. And this is actually a very ornamental day. It's a celebration. So people would really wear the things that, show them off and just be big and bold and happy. And so it doesn't have to be, a witch robe, but it's something that makes you, and I know everybody listening has at least one outfit that makes them feel extra witchy.
Oh yeah.
And we all have one.
Oh yeah.
And set that out. Have your necessities set up beforehand, because this takes place and there needs to be a few things set up. So one, you need a pot. Put about an inch of alcohol in the bottom. And I mean like swigging alcohol.
Okay.
Like something that you can drink, about just an inch. Doesn't have to be a lot. The traditional thing here is a red bourbon. Which, and so pour, but you don't have to do that, but that's just what this book says. So put, you could even put cheaper alcohol in the pot. Like red bourbon, though, you need to have, or some sort of nicer, offering, because that's kind of what
Not
this is.
your Mad Dog 2020.
Yeah, this is your offering. And so have that, a small glass, 4 ears of corn, 13 stones, and so your pot, and it needs to be able to be lit. So you need to be able to light, the flame underneath it.
Right.
So that's it. That's all you need for this.
Which, honestly, could probably be accomplished with, like, a skillet.
Yeah.
If
you need essentially a metal container or stone, whatever, to light fire under, but it also has an inch of alcohol in it.
Because I was just trying to think, what do I have laying around that I could do that with? The only thing I was thinking of was like a wok.
Oh, yeah, or even a saucepan. Like, just a normal anything.
Okay.
Know? Yeah, like...
so you can do this at your stove, should you want to.
No.
Continue. Maybe I shouldn't hear the rest of the story.
Okay, so get all of that ready. I honestly I'm going to use probably red wine, just because that's what I like. And to me, it fits how I foresee this feast. Like, I picture myself at this feast drinking red wine. And
like a hearty...
Yeah, like
a really hearty red wine.
Yes, and like out of a cask. You know? Like, it's just what I want. So you have that and your 4 ears of corn. And so just kind of have that set up. I'm going to do mine outside. So if you have a backyard, you know, because you need a little bit of room to move around here, but it can be done on a balcony. So get that ready, but it's very important to get your body and mind ready. So take an intention shower or bath. I take intention baths all the time. No, if anybody's been listening to this, they know that I'm all about the bath. And imagine, you know, this is a time of celebration and you've worked, you know, our ancestors have worked really hard. And so it would be a washing of, we can actually enjoy this for a second. And so when you're taking your shower or your bath, imagine that any weakness or any concerns or anything like that, imagine them being just washed away, you know, completely cleaned and, you know, all negativity, things like that. Just let it go, let it wash away. And like, you know, when I'm in the bath, I picture like, you know, the water just sucking it out, you know, especially when a salt bath, like it just takes all that nastiness out. And so really do that and enjoy that. And after you do that, dress in your outfit that you laid out, you know, and you don't rush this, you know, put it on almost like it's, to me, outfits like that are like armor. It's great. And so you know,
enjoy the process.
Yeah. And, you know, fix up, do whatever you want to do that makes you feel powerful, because that helps going into things like this. If you go in charged with that confident energy, you'll get a lot out of this ritual, you know. Take some time to meditate on what you're about to do. And you don't have to do a full deep meditation, but sit in a dark, quiet space and think about, you know, the day and how it, you know, this balance of nature has created this bounty, you know, that's what this day means, that nature was balanced and things worked right and there was strength to get here and all of that, the process of the harvest, as well as we were talking earlier, just the strength of how strong the people were that made you. You know, and know that a piece of that is in you, and how in the modern day we can just drive on over to the gas station, grab things and whatever. It's not a big deal. Well, you know, bread to these people was life or death and paramount to your existence. You know, that's one loaf of bread, one good harvest is maybe the cause of other people not being here today. Yeah. You know, and just think about things like that because they're so easy to forget.
Or how hard it could have been during a particular year for a particular ancestor where they almost didn't make it. Yeah. You know, and everyone after them not being here. Yeah. It could have been so close. Yeah. It wasn't, and it just turned out.
It's wonderful to think about and just how, I mean, it really is. And I think it goes unappreciated a lot, and myself included in that. You know, you get so caught up in your own life, it's easy to not think about the people who are why you're here.
Well, I mean, it's also not practical to walk through every single day thinking about how you can honor your ancestors. You know what I mean?
You gotta live your own life.
Yeah, you know, and you have to think about how the legacy that you're going to leave. And I don't just mean like for your children. I mean what you're doing in your life's work. What mark are you going to make and stuff like that. And you know, I feel like it can be really easy to get caught up into thinking about constantly how it was that you don't appreciate. They would have wanted you to appreciate what you have. If they could have, again, going back to the washing machine thing, if they could have had the washing machine and not panicked because they were like, oh, Satan, you know, witchcraft. In the meantime, their descendants are actually doing witchcraft. If they could have had that, they would have fucking taken it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I think it's just that fine balance of honoring and respecting and being proud, but at the same time, continuing their work that they put in.
So here, we're going to get into the ritual here. And again, this is from a book of pagan rituals, and some of this is taken, like, this is what it says. There's some spoken word in this ritual, and so I've just pulled that from this book. I highly recommend this book. A lot of these rituals can be watered down into modern things, you know, because I know, living not close to a big city, that some items are hard to get. But, you know, there's really, it's a good starter, you know, way, but very experienced witches could use this book and inexperienced witches can use it. If that makes sense. There's a lot of room to play with it.
Well, I see here that there's a basic ritual section.
Yes.
And then also the advanced section.
Yes. And and then there's solitary rituals. The first part of it is big coven rituals, and they are awesome. Mm-hmm. There's like priestesses and the priest, and like they lead the rituals. I mean, they are so cool, and I can't wait to like belong to a coven one day and actually get to like do things like that. They are very, very cool. But anyway, this is the solitary ritual, and I really liked this one because you don't need a whole lot, and you can get everything at a grocery store for cheap. So you've meditated, you're in the zone, you're clean, all your negativity's washed away, and you're in an outfit that makes you feel like a boss bitch. Like you're good at this point. So confidently enter your place of ritual that you have set up. You go to the cauldron, and you know you've already have your inch of alcohol in it, and you face south. So I'm going to need to know. I'm going to have to figure out, because I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, head east and do. I don't fucking know. Like, I know how the sun rises. So you face south, kneel to the cauldron, and with your hands on it, say, "At this spot I shall fashion my own small temple, sacred to the goddess and to the gods of long ago." And so then, starting at the southern point, place the 13 stones that you collected around your cauldron. But leave enough room for you to walk in and out and kneel. So that's important. So, you know, you need to build a big enough, it doesn't have to be huge, but big enough for you to step in it and kneel before the cauldron, and, you know, and do things like that. So after you've placed your 13 stones around your cauldron, enter it again, dip your fingers in the alcohol, and anoint each of the 4 ears of corn.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, as you're anointing these, you say, "A bond shall thus be formed between the central flame and the living seed, which shall be about me." Say these things with intention, you know, and I think that's important to know them ahead of time, at least a little, so you're not just having to read it, because, you know, it's just like reading subtitles in a movie. You don't watch it as much, you know, I think it's kind of good to, and even if, you don't have to say this exactly, you know, even if you paraphrase it, it's just kind of knowing a little bit about what you're talking about, because I know when I read things, I get so caught up in what I'm reading, I'm not saying it. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. It becomes a mechanical response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and after saying that, light the flame of the cauldron. Rise again and place the 4 ears of corn starting at the southern point at north, south, east, and west of your circle.
Can we demystify anointing a little bit?
Oh, sure. Yeah, so just dip your fingers into it, and as you're saying those words, just kind of place some of the liquid onto the corn.
Right. That was one of the words that really freaked me out in the beginning, because I was like, what does that mean? How do I anoint a candle?
Oh, yeah.
How do I anoint a doorway?
Just dip your fingers in whatever you're blessing it with and rub it on there. Yeah. Rub your corn with booze.
I always do.
It's a good one. After you've done that, you place your hands towards the flame as if you're warming them. And you say, "This place I have made sacred to the gracious lady and to those who serve her." And, you know...
So you're kind of casting your circle at this point.
You are. Like, you're creating your space.
Yeah.
And you've blessed
sacred
it at this
space.
point. Yeah. And you're speaking that out into the world. And so that's what I mean. It's not necessary for you to say these verbatim. It's just it's with confidence saying, "I've done this now. Like, I have created this small temple and I have done these things." So at this time, raise your right hand towards the south and say, I love this. I think this is very beautiful. "O ancient ones of days long past, I do ask your presence nearby, for this is a time that is not a time, and a place that is not a place, on a day that is not a day. And I am here, blessed be." I just think that's gorgeous.
That's absolutely, that would be one of the ones I would try to say.
I want to know that word for word. I want to say it and mean it.
But at the end of the day, if you are struggling with trying to remember stuff, I guess you could boil that down to something like, ancestors, please come join me.
Yeah.
Let's take some time to do that. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be word for word, but that's a nice one.
I loved it. I read it and like broke into chills. I was like, oh, yes. I love it.
At the time that is not a time.
Yeah, it's very, very just whimsical and beautiful. So after you say that beautiful piece, pour some brandy to the earth, and then you pour some in your glass and toast high. I mean, high into the air, and you're proud, and you say, I drink to the glory of the season, to the ways of mystery and of magic, which were known in ages past and shall be known again in times to come. I loved that too. And you can toast further as you wish. There's the merriment doesn't really have to end here. You can meditate, you can play music, you can read poetry, you can sing songs,
dance.
Yeah, like it's a celebratory time, and you have, at this point, this circle is blessed and ready. So it's going to be a space to have a celebration like that. And, after that, when the time is right and you feel like the celebrations are done and it's time to close, kneel before the cauldron and with your arms spread wide, say, I do ask, O goddess wise, that your blessings be about everyone. So that
that's nice.
I know, I loved it. So that the children of men may be led back to your ways of peace and joy. And I love, because I've said that before, the goddess is forgotten. Everybody's just war and anger and like, I just love that it's saying that, like, bless everyone and help them find this peace again. And then gather all of your stones in your corn. And then, once everything is ready, of course, you end it and the rite has ended. Or say some sort of closing.
Blessed be.
Yeah, like, close it and like say, the intention is closed. It's celebrated, and that's sealed. I can't wait to do this. I'm very excited about it. I'm very connected to this ritual. I think it's just beautiful.
There's also something to be said for having a very, I guess, traditional style ritual.
Yeah.
Because when I get into what I'm going to be doing tomorrow throughout the day, mine is a more casual kind of personalized thing. However, doing those steps and putting the stones around it and everything, it just sets up that intention. Yes. And I feel like it's an invitation.
It is.
For me, again, the people who surround me every day, who my ancestor or whatever, however you want to think about it. It's just that space. It's setting up and saying, hey, come and join me. And it's just amplified when you're doing it like so methodically and you're working with your cardinal directions and stuff like that.
And what I love about it the most is, while it does have that traditional element, you don't need an altar for this.
Right.
You don't need, because I don't really have a full set altar yet, just because my room's kind of always in this process of being built. So I liked that, this, you just need 13 rocks and 4 ears of corn in a pot and even a hot plate. Just some way to heat. I mean, like, I that's it, and that's why I'm excited about it, because this is something that I know I have that stuff. I can get some corn and I can go out and I can have my rocks ready, which I found a few already that I've just seen and been grabbing.
Kind of jump out. I don't know if I necessarily have rocks anywhere around me, but I'll tell you what I do have. I've got a buttload of those little crystals.
Oh, yeah.
Those little tiny crystals. Those could be my stones.
Oh, yeah. No, that'd be cool.
Yeah. We're approaching this from two different sides today. And we've kind of purposely been a little, like, clandestine about it,
Yeah.
Which I love, because hearing that for the first time just now,
aren't you kind of ready?
I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely ready for it. And I also found myself just bursting with things to say.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And input to put in, because there's so much that you touched on that is very related to what I'm going to talk about.
Great.
In terms of, like, my example is when you were talking about, this is the part of the year where everything is, like, dry and it's hot.
Yeah.
And to me, that's represented in the colors. You can decorate.
Like really goldy, kind of like golden.
Yeah.
Warm.
It's golds, yellows, oranges, but kind of like that dulled down orange, browny orange.
Which, I mean, these are like my favorite colors.
Really?
Yeah, no, yellow is my favorite color.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no,
that makes sense.
I love the color yellow. That's why my favorite room in the house is yellow.
Your real favorite colors, though? Warm and naked.
Warm and naked. I mean, yeah, I guess yellow is my third favorite color.
I like to call these Thanksgiving colors.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
They're very warm, harvesty.
Harvesty.
You know, they're like what I picture, you know, fall leaf colors.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And that can be represented in the outfit that you were talking about. When
yes.
you pick out your outfit, you have something probably that makes you feel extra badass
mm-hmm.
and extra like in your power. If you can accessorize in certain ways, you know, try to incorporate some of those colors.
Yeah.
And little things like this, like using the colors and burning certain incense, all that's really doing is it's focusing our intention. It's forcing us to think about the day that this is, the time of year that it is.
Yeah.
And for me, it's forcing me to play with different colors.
Okay.
Because I have a pretty standard repertoire of black, red, like deep red. That's just about it, honestly. And those are the things that I like to decorate my home with and what I like to wear and the makeup that I like to do. But this is forcing me to really play with different colors. And that might sound like a stupid thing, but it has really it's kind of changed just like my outlook, you know, anything to kind of focus you up for that. And your crystals you can also use. Like if you happen to have, 13 crystals?
Yeah.
You know, if you're lucky, if you're fortunate enough to have 13 of there's Tiger's Eye.
I love Tiger's Eye.
Tiger's Eye is enchanting. Pieces of amber, golden topaz, and then my favorite, this is probably my favorite crystal stone, is citrine.
Citrine is beautiful.
I love citrine, and I never thought that I would. Citrine is a self-cleanser. It's going to help to grab onto the negativity that's being pent up in your other stones, and it's going to cleanse them. It's a very powerful cleanser. So is quartz and amethyst and stuff like that, but citrine is like cleansing.
Cool.
So I got that, and I was like, I'll just set some of my other stones around it, so they'll be kind of cleansed up most of the time. But I just got to love it. And when they say that it's like encapsulated sunshine, that's what it is. You cannot be unhappy when you're like rubbing a quartz or a citrine like in your hands, which sounds stupid.
No, I like that.
So if you do have, and we've talked about it recently, sandalwood, it's a very popular one for this time. So is rose and rosemary. Those are probably my three favorite.
Uh-huh.
Rosemary, rose, and sandalwood. You can't not be intoxicated with those. Also, your herbs, calendula and frankincense.
I love frankincense.
You know what? I've never actually experienced.
I love that smell.
What does it smell like?
It's just earthy. I have some...
And this is an incredibly earthy holiday.
I know. That's why I like this holiday so much, is because it's just everything. It's celebrating the earth.
The earth and everything that it's made for you.
Yes, and to me, it is like tailor-made for me, and I love it.
I like it because, as my notes indicate, I've written carbs in all caps, and I've underlined it 3 times. Speaking of the food... There are so many foods that can correlate with today. I'm going to be trying to work a lot of these in through my daily meals that I'm going to be having. Not only are these foods in season, so they're going to be a little bit cheaper. You can buy whatever any time of the year, but it's always going to be a little cheaper if it's in season, which is nice. So that's things like corn. We've talked a lot about corn. Any kind of dark fruit now. Cherries are blackberries in particular.
Blueberries. Cherries are my favorite fruit, and they're out right now. Yes. Black cherries are my favorite fruit.
Blackberries are mine.
Oh, they're my second favorite. Yeah. Like wild blackberries are, oh my God. But
oh my gosh. Clark and I, me and my husband, we both have memories of being kids and going to pick the blackberries. And it's just the most Texas thing. I feel like.
Oh, but it's great.
I love it. I'm actually incorporating that into my ritual breakfast tomorrow, which I could not be more excited about. More on that later. Lamb is a very popular dish right now.
You know, I hate lamb.
You know, I don't love it.
It's too gamey.
It's very gamey. I don't love it, but I see where this is a popular time for it.
Yeah.
Especially in contrast with Imbolg, I've mentioned for some reason several times, where they're being born, you know, and it's also a time to respect and to, you know, have the lamb. And now a lot of people would kind of see that as coming like a full circle. This holiday is about full circle and beginning again. And popcorn.
I just bought, that's so funny. I never buy popcorn, but I just went to the store like a few days ago and bought this big ass thing of like Smart Pop, like not like the kind that's like
Well, it's just another way to incorporate corn.
I'm gonna eat some GDN popcorn tomorrow.
As long as we're talking about food, we've touched on it briefly, but it's not just what you're consuming for the day. You know what I mean? I feel like the food can be very ritualistic in the sense that, you're thinking about where it came from, and you're thinking about still today. I mean, people have to farm to get these foods. You know, there are still farmers out there, but it's also about taking that energy. You know, if you're thinking about it in the very ritualistic kind of pagan sense, you know, the sun god has put all of the energy into the earth.
He's dying for this.
Yes, he's put everything into it, and it is a sacrifice, you know. So what you are consuming is basically his energy. You know what I mean? You're eating the food to steal his powers, basically. And the whole day to me is about really gathering your power, you know, and being grateful. And not only are you gathering power from like the food that you're consuming and everything, you're gathering power in the knowledge that you have made it this far. Not only your ancestors, which by the way, don't have to be super ancient. We can be thinking about how hard like our parents and our grandparents have worked. You know what I mean? They're our ancestors too. Not only from them, but our own journey. Like respect your own journey. Like that you're still here today and you're probably gone through some shit and stuff like that. I just think it's a real good day to harness all the power you can and think about like, I've made it this far and I am grateful. The word that keeps coming up.
It's a day of gratitude.
Being grateful and thankful. And also having in the back of your mind that, we're going to have to plan for this winter coming up. You know what I mean? And make it through that. And you know, although it's not at the forefront, like the planning part, it's kind of like understanding that that's right around the corner. But hold on, because today we're going to celebrate the fact that we're here and we've got all this food, and it's a very joyous time. Joyous time, beer. That's the best segue I can think of. With it being a celebration, a very wheat. celebration. Also, what's the other one? Rye. I'm thinking rye.
Oh, okay. Like whiskey. Yeah.
Wheat and rye are very prevalent images and things that are being harvested at this time. You're going to be hard-pressed to not see beer and whiskeys. A lot of Sabbats have what they call your cakes and ales celebration, and it's literally some type of baked good, because all of these holidays have their own like specific baked goods. And then the type of beverage. Okay. So if you partake, beer, especially like a local brew, is really good to kind of set that mood. Again, think about like all the things that are there in your region that have made this beer. My dad has I guess it's not his saying, he just says it a lot. It's Benjamin Franklin's quote, is beer is proof that God exists and he wants us to have fun. or that he exists and he loves us, or something like that. And he said that since I was little. And I really understand that, especially if you're using it as a celebration. Yeah. You know, as a celebratory drink.
It does help drive merriment.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of these pagan festivals, you're going to find some source of alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
You know, being that driving force of that merriment and of that just excess, abundance, I guess. If you don't love beer, which I know, Macy, you don't love beer.
Well, here's the thing.
Is this like with an asterisk?
I really I love beer.
Really?
I do. I love beer.
You don't like swill?
What?
Like cheap, like piss beer.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that's what that meant. No, I don't. I love Lone Star. And Lone Star is cheap as they come.
So you do like swill.
But Lone Star is like darker.
Sure.
I don't like light beer.
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm saying.
You enjoy a good weedy German.
I do. I like Hefeweizens are like my favorite. I love them. But when I'm doing festivities, I want red wine.
Yeah.
That's my thing. That is my kind of ceremonial drink. It's just I don't know. It makes you, it warms your throat.
Yeah.
Almost like liquor, but it doesn't give you that liquor bite. Like
wine is something to me that is almost potion-like.
It is. It's intoxicating, of course,
obviously.
but like intoxicating in a different way to me. I don't know. I love it.
And with that, this is also the season for elderberry wine. Ooh. Which I've looked it up. You can buy it we have a store here called Total Wine and More. Total
Wine is amazing. Have you never been?
I've never been.
You're gonna lose your fucking mind. I mean, I'm ready for you. It's great.
I'm gonna go pick up a bottle so I can celebrate with that tomorrow.
Nice.
Because that's one of the only places I found that will carry it. So do a search, see who's got elderberry wine, and try it out. Because I do prefer to have a winey beverage. However, I am doing my own little cakes and ale celebration tomorrow. It's probably one of the part of the day that I might be looking forward to the most. Yeah. Because it's just, my cakes and ale celebration are always a little time for me.
Yeah.
You know, and even if I'm celebrating with other people, or, you know, my husband, he doesn't really partake in a lot of the, you know, the festivities, but he likes to observe with me, you know, and at least he's very respectful, and he wants to know why, and he wants to know the reasons behind it. Even in those situations, I like to slip away and have my little time. Which does bring me to my personal celebration. I'm gonna do a run through for you.
I like it.
I'm really, really excited for this one tomorrow. I feel like I've kind of flown by the seat of my pants for the last couple of Sabbats, and just been like, what can we do? Let's do something kind of related to today, which is great, and it's fun, and sometimes that's fine. But I've really put together a little itinerary for me tomorrow. And it's going to start with some blackberry motherfucking pancakes.
My goodness.
Right? Yeah. I'm going to make them myself. You don't need to make all the stuff from scratch, and it doesn't have to be fancy. A lot of people can get intimidated, and they're like, I have to make this super special meal. I'm going to put some Bisquick in a bowl, and I'm going to throw some berries that I bought like that morning into it, and I'm going to cook them up, and they'll probably be burnt and or underdone, and I'm going to have them, you know? But I'm going to... Berries to me are almost like the antithesis of thinking of that food that like has been provided to you. They're so sweet and like beautiful and rich and dark.
Yeah.
It's almost like a little treasure. That's another
thing.
They're
like gemstones.
They're like, it has a mystical feel to me. After that, I'm going to spend some time in the sun because this is our goodbye. And that's another part of this holiday is... Yes, we're celebrating all of our abundance, and we're celebrating the fact that it is most likely, and especially in Texas, the hottest part of the year. And it will be for a little while. August in Texas is actual hell.
It's very hot and unrelentingly just
oppressive.
Goes.
And still, there's like no wind in August.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a tornado.
Yeah, so. It's like the doldrums.
Yeah, so it's the celebration, of course, but also it's a goodbye to the sun. And much like we welcomed it.
Which makes me really sad.
And I know it does most people. I know it does most people, but that's another reason that I'm so in love and I'm so ready for tomorrow, because I'm ready to say goodbye. You know, and to me it's a very respectful thing. You know, I appreciate it. I know you have to happen. It's not so much saying goodbye as it is welcoming in the fall. That's what this is about to me.
I love the fall. The fall is, I love the fall time. Probably is my favorite time of the year, but it's because of there's still what's coming there. Oh yeah, and like it's just I just know that fall in Texas isn't very long because it stays hot until like October, and then it's going to be cold in like 3 months. And that just gives me
anxiety,
fear in the pit of my stomach. I hate it.
So yeah, I'm going to spend some time in the sun. That's another thing you can do to really celebrate today is make a point to be in the sun. Make a point to go outside. If you meditate, that's cool. If you want to just go take a walk and be in nature and look at these flowers that are out right now. Sunflowers are like everywhere right now. And I thought about like pulling over the other day and like
Black-eyed Susans are everywhere right now. I love them.
Do you really?
Yes, I love black-eyed Susans. Well, I love sunflowers.
I love sunflowers. Yeah. But the thing is, it's so hard to just... You have to have like a knife or a cutting tool.
They're tough plants.
They're tough to cut down.
Yeah.
But if you're in an area that has the sunflowers, maybe pull over at a safe space.
Yeah.
And get some sunflowers to like put on your altar or use as offering or just to put around your house to be pretty. But I'm going to spend some dedicated time in the sun. I'm going to feel its warmth on me. I'm going to let it charge me in a way that I very rarely allow to happen.
Oh, you need to do that more often.
And I'm going to kind of say thank you and goodbye. And after that, I'm going to go do my shower ritual. Currently, that's the only real water thing I can do because I don't have a bathtub. Mm-hmm. But I really enjoy my shower rituals. I make a time of it. I have a small bathroom, so I just shut the door. I play some music. Usually on Sabbats, I listen to some real cheesy, like, pagan music. Which I love it.
I love pagan music. I listen to it all the time.
It amps me up. So I'll put that on. You can even, like, I wrote into Spotify, like, Lughnasadh playlist. And there's some sweet-ass shit that came up.
Oh, yeah. No, there's, like, playlists for everything. They're really awesome.
So I'll kick that going. I'll light some candles in my bathroom. Light some incense. Again, if you have that frankincense or that, like, rose or sandalwood. Rosemary. Light up one of those, like, specific ones. And then I make myself a scrub, just with shit that I have in my kitchen. Tomorrow I'm going to make a sugar scrub out of, obviously, sugar. Then I'll be using some sandalwood drops, rose oil, and some calendula flowers. Ooh. I love calendula because it also helps with like skin irritation and redness. Nice. Anytime I do a scrub, I can get pretty pink. Mm-hmm. So calendula is going to help to kind of keep everything not so raw. Mm-hmm. But I like to kind of shower for a bit. I imagine that water, like Misi talks about, grabbing all that shit, pulling it down the drain, doing my scrub, and I think of the scrub as almost like ingraining things into me. Which I know a lot of people might think of a scrub as like getting stuff off of you, but I feel like it's like really forcefully like pushing this intent of like gratefulness.
Oh,
and,
good.
Like,
yeah, that's neat.
I keep saying, think about all the things to think about on this day, the ancestors and how long. This is a good time to do that. If you don't want to spend your whole day doing it, do it in your shower ritual. And you can even like, I'll probably be like, thank you out loud or think of make up a specific person in your past and think about what their day would have been like. And the fact that they couldn't just wake up and shower their pits off. You know, it's like they stank and they sweated and then they went to bed and did it again every day of their life. So after all that's said and done, you're cleaned, physically and metaphysically. So that's when I will move on to the next step, which is that dressing. Okay. You know, dressing into the outfit that makes me feel like a badass. I like to play with the makeup again. Yeah. And that's just it's a time for me. I love to sit down. I know some people hate sitting down to do their makeup, so this may not be for you. But I love to sit down and play with it. And these are the days that I'll do like the little extra, like over the nose things.
You get into it.
I really get into it. I think tomorrow I'm going to do some like fake freckles and some like very sunny kind of things, you know. And it just kind of makes me really aware of the day. I'm going to take care of my indoor plants at this point because I have a black thumb.
I do too. And I'm trying to get better.
I tried to get better, and the other day I went out to water my garden, and my husband Clark, who is an actual like certified master gardener in Texas,
he's great.
He came out and he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm going to water my squash because I'm growing some like winter squash." And he was like, "No, not in the heat of the day. You'll kill them." So I like really need him to help, but I have some almost impossible to kill indoor plants. So I'm going to take some time to water them and kind of trim them back. Then moves on to my favorite part. I'm going to bake like all day tomorrow. I'm going to just bake and bake and bake. If you've never baked before, don't get scared. I have a recipe to go into a little bit later. Like just a basic bread. You can dress up a basic bread however you want to. Put some cream and berries on it. Do whatever you want to do. Cornbreads are really popular. I'll probably make one of those.
My God.
Dude, listen to this. I was looking it up last night and I saw a blackberry and lavender cornbread.
Get at me.
I know.
In my mouth.
I know. So I'm going to be trying my hand at that.
That sounds stupid.
Yeah.
I want it.
I know. So after all that's done, and that takes quite a while, I'll have my cakes and ale. I'm going to take a little bit of my bread. I will be putting some homemade whipped cream on it, put some blackberries on it. I'm going to go sit outside in the sun again, and I'm going to have my little local brew, just kind of take it all in. I'll probably take this time to leave my offering, We're not having anything special for dinner. It'll just be whatever I happen to make along with the bread. But we will be having our dinner around a little bonfire that I'm going to make out in our backyard.
Yeah, I want us to eat outside as well.
Eat outside, particularly because when the sun sets, I'm going to have some of my elderberry wine and I'm going to toast the sunset. Goodbye. You know, I like to stay up on Yule night, the longest night of the year. Mm-hmm. And you kind of are saying goodbye to the longest night, but you're saying hello to the return of the sun. You know, to me, this is a time to drink my elderberry wine with my husband, sit outside in the last kind of glimmers of sun, as it were. And I'm saying thank you, summer. You were great, but bye-bye now.
And, which is funny because we live in Texas and summer's really just starting.
It's really just starting. That's what symbolic. That's the term I was looking for. It's all very symbolic, you know, but to me it's just another point of giving me hope that it's almost over. All right, on to this bread recipe.
Gimme.
It's from a guy named Steve Gamlin, and he has a YouTube channel, Artisan Bread with Steve.
I want it.
And this is his easy, no nude turbo bread.
Turbo bread.
If you've never baked, please give it a shot. Ooh, take pictures and share it with us.
Please do. That would make my day.
Especially because you can dress this up this is so, like, customizable.
Cool.
You know, this is just your base recipe. You'll need 13 ounces of warm water, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 1/4 teaspoons of instant yeast. You can buy it at the grocery store.
Yeah, like Fleischmann's.
Yeah, and those little packets are really...
Yeah, like yellow and brown.
Yeah, cheap and easy to work with, especially if you just plan on doing this for the ceremony aspect of it and you don't want to become like a master baker. Sounded bad. You need 3.5 cups of bread flour. That's all you need. That is like
what
all
is
you
bread
need.
Flour? Can you not just use white flour?
I'm sure you can. I will buy the cheapest flour, self-rising, unbleached bread, and I mix it all in my one big container, so I'm sure it's fine.
Okay.
Don't think about it too much. So what you're going to do is you're going to add that salt to the yeast, and then you're going to add them to the warm water. Right after that, you're going to add your flour into the warm water, and you're going to mix it until it's like a sticky ball form. Cover it. I like to cover it with like a tea towel and then put it in a warm spot for 1 hour and 30 minutes. Now, let me tell you the easiest like hack I've ever seen. Turn your oven light on, not the oven, but just the oven light. That will warm your oven to about 80 degrees in itself.
Interesting.
So turn your oven light on, stick it in the oven, close the door, and then 1 hour and a half come back and it's been in its perfect temperature to rise. So you're going to take it out, you're going to uncover it, you'll have a big risen, puffy bowl of bread dough. You're going to actually stab that with a spoon or something and give it a couple of mixes, you know, just kind of get the air out of it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to transfer that degassed lump of bread dough into your greased bread pan. You can use like a skillet, or if you have an actual bread pan, that's great.
I'm trying to think if I do. I hope I do. I want to make a loaf.
Just something. I have a loaf pan that I got because I like to make loaves of bread, but I've also gotten lazy and made it in like a cake pan, and it didn't, you know, it was real thin bread because it was stretched out. But, you know, whatever you have, that's fine. Just make sure you grease the bottom of it and then put the dough in it. You're going to set that aside, uncovered again, for 30 minutes. So here's the trick. For the second time, just put it on your counter for 30 minutes, and you're going to turn your oven on to 400 degrees. And the time that it takes to get to 400 degrees, it's about 30 minutes. So while it's preheating, you're doing your second rise. You can be off doing whatever. 30 minutes comes by, slap it in the oven, set a timer for 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, you're done. Like, that's it. It's the easiest thing in the world.
It just takes a while.
It takes a while in that you have to put gaps between to let it rise. Yeah. But the actual
I'm going to have to start it right when I get home from work.
Yeah. Yeah. The actual hands-on time of putting this together is minimal.
Cool.
Minimal. It takes about 5 minutes to get your ingredients ready and mixed. And then 4 minutes to, you know, break the dough down the second time, transfer it, and then preheat your oven. And then you the 2 seconds it takes to put it in the oven. It's the easiest, fastest thing. If you want to customize it, do it that when you punch it down, they call it, when they release the gas from it. When you stir it after it's risen for an hour, put whatever you want to put in it. I like sesame seeds because I feel like they give a nice little texture. You can do crushed up rosemary, any kind of herb you want. If you want it to be a sweeter bread, you can maybe add some like crystallized sugar or some berries or something. Whatever you want, put it in. Put some raisins in it. Ooh, that's what Clark said yesterday. Easiest thing. It took me longer to describe what you have to do than it will to actually make the bread. So, please do that, and please take a picture of it, and I always like to do an egg wash on top before I put it in the oven.
Yeah, it gives it a good...
Give it a little brown.
Yeah, a little crust.
Some sea salt on the top makes it... It's just, you can do whatever with it. And, baking to me is always something that's so primal to me. It's just not primal, but natural. Yeah. It does, it kind of wakes something up in me.
See, I'm that way with cooking.
Ugh, I hate cooking.
I love to cook, and I'm very, very good at it, but I'm not very good at baking. Just because with cooking you can be a little looser. Yeah. You know, baking, you kind of need to really watch your time, and you need to get your amounts right. And you know, there's a bit of chemistry involved there. Like,
it is a little more exact.
Yeah.
You know, I have found that this bread recipe is super fucking forgiving.
Nice.
I have forgotten I'm like, do I need a tablespoon or a teaspoon of yeast? Or, you know, I mean, wildly, I've been off before. And it still comes out, you know, relatively okay. It's creating something that I really like to share with other people. Yeah. You know what I mean? When I cook, I don't think I'm a bad cook. I'm just not confident in it. Yeah. So I don't like to, like, cook for other people. When other people come over, let's order out or let's grill something so, you know, I can just like make a salad and that's it. But baking, I love to bake. I love to give people, you know, loaves of shit and cookies, and like I'll send Clark to work with like little goodies and stuff all the time. I love to share it. And that's another aspect of gratitude is sharing your abundance and really trying to focus on that. So I hope we did a good special.
You know what? I think we did.
I think we did a good special.
I think we did. I learned a lot. We knew what we were going to each be talking about because I got to learn from you and you got to learn from me on a few things. You know,
I got to feel a little bit like a YouTube guru, like giving you my routine.
Oh, yeah.
My Lughnasadh routine 2018. Put some cheesy, like that fucking ukulele music they put.
They always do, yes.
Underneath it, I'm gonna do that.
I'm so much taller than you for the first time in my life right now. I'm sitting on this beanbag throne, and I'm having to look down at Charlie.
I don't like it.
Yeah, what do you have 4 inches on me usually, height-wise?
I'm 5'7".
5 inches.
Are you?
I'm 5'2".
Are you really?
Yes.
She's so tiny.
I'm very short.
So that brings us to our next little bit that we do here, and that is our listener comment.
People who talk to us.
People who talk to us, whatever you want to call it, section.
Do more of that.
And Macy, you've got one from our Instagram today.
And I really like her name, too. Her handle is I'm just Pixlexic, and I think that's really cute. But she put a comment on one of our episodes, which that makes me so happy every time we get one. And she said, you know, just got off a long day at work and needed this. You guys are my heroes. It was like, I'm a hero. And she said, thank you. So that was something that was like nice.
And that's another instance where we immediately wrote each other and we were squealing yes. Like little babies. So we wrote her and said, hey, thank you, that was really sweet, can we talk about this on the show? And she responded.
She did. Yeah, she said she's been practicing on her own, and hearing, you know, us talk about it so casually is good. And so I'm glad, you know, because I was kind of worried in the beginning to be like, you know, are we going to be so casual? People are going to be like, y'all are disrespectful, you know? Like,
it's not our intent ever to be disrespectful.
You know, it's just remember,
you know, I think it's a phase everyone goes through in the beginning. of putting it all together.
Yeah, and well, here's the thing. Like, I want this podcast to be like how you would talk to anybody else about this. Not every conversation is an academic textbook conversation.
Exactly, because sometimes those conversations can be intimidating.
Yes.
So sometimes when you can have conversations that at least open a doorway to a thought, that can be invaluable. To hear people talk frankly about something can help you decide that's something I'd like to pursue, or that's not really something that I have interest in.
Listen to us tooting our own horns.
All right, so that comment was from Instagram. We are at Witch Bitch Amateur Hour, Twitter at Bitch Hour, Facebook at Witch Amateur Hour, and our email is wbahpodcast@gmail.com. And we've gotten some really lovely emails.
We have.
On that note, we've also received a couple of spooky stories.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That a few of those will be featured in our next spooky episode.
Ready for it. I am so ready. I think we're going to do them every 5 episodes.
Every 5 episodes sounds great. We got a few messages from people saying we spooked them a little.
I love it.
And somebody said,
I spooked myself.
You did. You were scared for a week.
I blessed my house. Man, that last episode scared me shitless.
So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
All right. So I think for this week, this has been the Witch Amateur. Get your dick out of here.